Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for May 17th, 2021, with your host, Spacebreaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
We have the end of Season 1 and the first 2 episodes of Season 2!
Yay. Except for we also end on a cliffhanger.
Yay!
Again!
Look, it doesn't help that it pretty much this entire thing is like a 5-part arc, more or less. Because you have like no, it's like a 6-part arc. Because you have the last episode from last week.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have these 4 episodes, and then you'll have the one next week.
Mm-hmm. But you know, that's the problem. It's spread across 3 episodes.
Yeah. But we have, for our count, because it's technically not the accurate account, this is episodes 25 through 28.
AKA Season 1, Episode 25 and 26, and Season 2, 1 and 2.
Right. I'm keeping this just for our notes purposes because it'd just be easier than trying to do like an S2 Episode 1 and going forward. It's just be like, it's just this episode. Because that's the total I'm going off the total episode count of the show rather than the subdivided episode count per season. Because we rarely do more than 1 season of a show, more or less.
Yeah, pretty much everything we've done's been 1 season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one additional note, just to bring it up. Our first 2 episodes are the season finale of Season 1, and the title of them actually introduces a naming convention for future episodes. And that is when we have direct encounters with our unknown alien species, the episodes will have an OV 2-word title.
Huh.
So essentially, these 2 episodes are other voices, because that's our first direct encounter. Let me pull up the full episode list, name off the others. In Season 2, you have Other Visits. And then in Season 3, you have Other Victories. And those are all of our, by naming convention, direct encounters with the unknown alien race. I forgot what other... Oh, it's that 2-parter. Okay. I was like, what was Other Visits? Ah, that one. Okay. We get the first part of it next week, and then end on a cliffhanger. Because of fucking course we do. God damn it. This show and its episode count. But anyway, any thoughts going into this batch of episodes?
Not really.
This is the earliest I've watched episodes for this show so far. Only because I was probably going to be doing that interview to start with before, and I was like, maybe I should watch these early because I have other stuff to do, like make sure my car is working. Because, pandemic and all, not really went anywhere. Probably need to make sure my car is good. But guess what I found in the trunk?
What?
Mouse nest.
Oof.
a mouse nest that has been there long enough for the mouse to have babies.
Oh, that's real fun.
Yeah, we got it all out and threw it in the yard. And, well, wherever the mice went somewhere. Because I found out there was a mouse in my car because I had to go to the gas station to fill it up. So went to the gas station, got out of my car, turn around to go around the back to go to the pump. I see a mouse peek out from under my back wheel and then run back under my car. Now, I'm pretty sure the mouse was not from the gas station. Meaning that mouse rode with me the whole way. I'm not sure if it rode with me back, though.
I mean, hopefully not.
Yeah. But needless to say, we cleaned out the nest, we sprayed, and hopefully it won't nest in there again for like the third time that's happened. Because it's happened before. They like the trunk for some reason. This time they decided to hide it better by putting it in the spare wheel. Instead of just in the trunk. Needless to say, I need to get out more. A hard thing to say considering the still current state of things, but maybe I should get out more.
Maybe just a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, shall we get rolling on the episodes for the week?
I guess we shall.
Alright, we kick off with episode 25, Other Voices, Part 1. So we are in space as something comes through a transwarp portal, I assume, and lands on the planet, and both bases are alerted to this, seeing it's the same alien origin, or it's of the same alien origin as everything else that has tried to murder them. We focus on Tarantulas and Black Arachnia first, as they argue about escaping the planet, or helping each other to escape the planet, and Black Arachnia has a plan to sneak into the Maximal base and steal one of their stasis pods and use that as a makeshift craft to fly off the planet and I guess go home. Meanwhile, we check in with Waspinator as he's putting himself back together, and Megatron orders him, go secure the new alien site. And Waspinator's like, I don't wanna. And Megatron's like, no, do it. We got better shit. This is important. Go do it. So we head to said alien site as Rastrap and Airraiser arrive, and immediately trip the defenses of it by Airraiser trying to scan the Energon crystal at the center of it. She gets stuck in the big dome thing while Rattrap gets flung outside. So Rattrap reports in the Primal, who's flying in, and then gets attacked by Waspinator. So fun day for the Maximals so far. We check in with Razor inside, and she's immediately attacked by the aliens and pretty much knocked out because, fuck you. That's why. I love that they immediately attack her, but don't immediately attack Primal here in like 12 seconds. Apparently they really didn't like Airraiser. Anyway, Rattrap ends up running off Waspinator by fighting dirty of kicking dirt in his face, kneeing him in the groin, which I wouldn't think that would work for Transformers, but I guess it does. I don't know why that's built into you, but okay, sure.
Someone thought it was a good idea.
Yep. Giving him a noogie and just kicking him in the butt, being like, scram. Which, by the way, doesn't break the truce because he didn't shoot a gun at him, at least.
Yeah, the dumbness of this truce is don't shoot at each other and you're good.
That doesn't mean we can't punch each other. But Primal and Rattrap try to break in. doesn't work. And that's when Megatron arrives with Pterosaur and Scorponok, and pretty much both Primal and Megatron land on the, we have to hit it with an organic thing, not a laser thing. So Scorponok hits it with a acid and it opens a hole, and Primal and Rat Trap head in, and Megatron's like, good, you head in first. Blow them up the second we have the opportunity. Because Megatron's like, oh, fuck this truce, it's over. I've already done everything I need to do for literally the rest of this two-parter. I need to do nothing else. But inside, Primal has Rat Trap take Air Razor outside, but he stays behind to have a chat with the aliens because that will go well for him, seeing Air Razor unconscious on the floor, barely able to talk. Why, yes, they are in a talking mood.
Yeah, I mean, they totally won't just trash someone if they're wanting to talk.
Pretty much. As I'm saying this, Primal is of course captured and scanned for stuff to talk, so the aliens can talk to him.
Painfully scanned.
Yes, painfully scanned. Because it's not enough to scan someone. No, you have to inflict pain while you scan them. Fucking why?
You gotta be thorough.
It's unnecessary.
Yes.
Meanwhile, we follow the spiders as they break into the base, or the Maximal base, and Inferno is following them under Megatron's orders. Not the smartest move on his part, but, you know,
I mean,
Megatron doesn't...
He's kind of out of smart people to send to do this.
Fair.
Especially seeing as how, you know, the two that would actually be smart enough to pull this off successfully are the two that he's wanting someone to follow.
Yeah. But we check back in with Rat Trap and Air Razor as they make it outside, and then Scorponok and Megatron point guns at him, and Rat Trap's like, oh, I guess the truce is over then. Great. I knew this was a bad idea. But we check back in with Primal as the aliens decide to talk to him in the form of Unicron, because according to the aliens, this is an authoritative figure that they needed, that best communicated who they were. Why did you pick the Transformers equivalent of the fucking devil to communicate with these people?
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Well, technically a more accurate thing would be to say that he is the Transformers equivalent of Galactus. But, you know. Like, fucking why?
Then that would actually be pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Especially seeing as what they do next.
Yeah. But essentially they're like, you have interfered with our experiments with this planet. It's contaminated now. We're gonna blow it the fuck up. But why? Because you fucked with our shit and we're blowing it up. So goodbye. So they're gonna blow up the planet. Yay. At this point, we check in with Rat Trap and Air Razor as they manage to fight off the Predacons, but as Primal comes out, the three of them retreat back to Maximal Base, and so do the Predacons, with Megatron going, well, I still have my ace in the hole to play. I guess I'm gonna hang out at my base for the rest of this two-parter. Because I've done all my work. I just have to wait for someone to flip the switch. But the alien structure ends up sending a picture to the moon that is hollow, revealing it to be an alien structure. Well, that explains things. Rhinox is looking into it at the Maximal Base, when the spiders break in, knock him out, knock out Dinobot, they're done for this finale. See you at the start of season 2. And Tarantulas is looking at the scans going, well, this is how we all die. This is why I'm getting the fuck off this planet. Let's get to work. Which takes us to episode 26, Other Voices, part 2. We follow the Maximals as they converge back on base as the moon begins its transformation. And I love how much Rat Trap is like, oh goody, we're all getting together so we can all die together. And Primal and Air Raids are both at the same time like, shut up, you're not helping. I love that.
I kind of liked it too.
I love how much everyone is done with Rat Trap's cynicism.
I mean,
even
though in more often than not, he's right.
Right. And also, he's technically second in command, I guess. Like, is Rat Trap technically second in command, or is it Rhinox?
Yes.
Fair.
I don't think the show knows which one's technically second in command.
I would assume it's Rat Trap most of the time, unless we need someone intelligent, then it's Rhinox.
But then why not just let it be Rhinox all the time?
Fair. Anyway, we also follow Megatron as he is watching this, and we see the moon transform into a giant fuck-off laser, which, okay, there's one thing I'm confused about in this episode. Why does everyone think the moon disappeared?
Yeah.
Like, there's still a spherical shape of the moon right where the moon was, and it is clearly visible every time we see it. I don't know why everyone can't see it.
Because it's not a ball anymore now, I guess?
No, it's still a ball.
Well, I think when that's mentioned, though, it turns into that, like, ring thing.
Yeah, true.
With the giant magnifying glass inside it.
Yeah.
It's still stupid, don't get me wrong. Because, as you said, it's still clearly visible.
Mm-hmm. But with this laser, yeah, with this laser in place, Megatron has the Predacons that are in the base bunker down, throw up the shields, and he flips the switch for his ace in the hole because it's either we do this or we die. So we're doing this. We follow Tarantulas as he begins working on the pod, and Black Arachnia's like, I think I'm going to take this pod for myself, so goodbye. I'm going to shoot you in the back. But Inferno shoots her first, and then burns Tarantulas, interrupting the download, which Megatron's like, no, you idiot, no! Megatron, why did you send Inferno in the first place then?
Yeah.
You knew this.
I mean, if you want someone dead, you send Inferno in. If you do not want someone dead, you send literally anyone else.
You should have sent Pterosaur.
I mean, at this point, that probably would have been the next smartest person.
Right. I understand why, because of what we got to do later, but... But anyway, the Maximals finally get in the base because they're all together. They find Dinobot and Rhinox webbed to the ceiling, so they cut them down, stick them in the CR chambers for the rest of this finale.
Yep, we'll see them next season.
Yeah. But at this point, Black Arachnia takes out Inferno and then taps in the Tarantulas' consciousness to get the stuff to finish the pod and accidentally trips a thing in his consciousness. We'll get to what that is later. But Airazor and Rat Trap go out and try to track down the spiders, which Airazor has a gun in this scene that she's never had before. I don't think we'll have beyond this point. And also, it just kind of phases into her elbow at a certain point. Oops.
I mean, the animation's real good in this show.
It is.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, there's times where you can tell they don't even know the program they're using.
To be fair, it's not like anyone had a manual for how the fuck this thing worked to start with.
Fair.
At this point. This team has exactly one show of experience with 3D animation, and that is a Reboot. Because this is the same team that did Reboot. And I believe Reboot was only aired like a year or two before this, or at the same time. So even then, it's like, and also like, this is one of the first 3D animated shows of its kind. So like, fucking nobody wrote the manual for this. We're figuring this shit out as we go. But I will give them credit. It is better animated than a lot of the Unicron trilogy sometimes. Some of the Unicron trilogy is not good. Especially the dub of the Unicron trilogy. If I'm being honest, looking back at it. You remember the first two episodes of Cybertron we watched, right?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. You're probably better not remembering because it wasn't good. Anyway, while two of them are trying to find the spiders, the weapon starts its charge and fires a beam at the planet that superheats the planet and will ignite the Energon, splitting the planet in half through sheer explosive force. Oh no. And I love how much Megatron is just like, oh, I like these aliens. I like this.
I like them trying to kill me.
Megatron, stop complimenting the people that are trying to blow you up. Especially as casually as you do it. To the camera, mind you. He does all this to the camera. Anyway, Airazor and Rat Trap find Black Arachnia, and after they inform Primal of the whole flying the stasis pod thing, Primal goes, alright, finish your work, but make it me the pilot. I'm gonna fly this thing into the laser. Because we're gonna cause the transwarp explosion. And it will blow up the moon. Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. And of course, Primal's like, oh, I'll just eject out and like fly back to the planet. And I just have to go, can you survive re-entry? Because I'm pretty sure you can't survive re-entry.
I'm pretty sure them pods aren't gonna survive entry, exit, and then and exit kind of deal.
Yeah.
So
also, I forgot to put I forgot to put it in the notes, but by this point, that ring of stasis pods that's been around the planet of the like ejected Maximal crew, they have been destabilized and they have all fallen to the planet by now. Which we will get to like 4 of those later, because the rest of them are dead. So I hope you're not expecting more characters in the show, because I think we have like 3 or 4 more characters to introduce, and that's it.
Well.
Yeah. Past this point, there is not that many more characters to introduce. It is this show is a very small cast on both sides. By the way, everyone volunteers to go in Primal's place to fly the pod, except Rat Trap, who's like, you don't pay me enough to do that. No? A, no. B, after you said a flyer should do it, why the fuck would I volunteer? And C, why? I'm not doing that. No.
I also love the fact that you can tell the moment that Optimus was like, it should be a flyer, that it immediately dawned on him, he's not the only flyer.
Yeah, and then Airrazor's like, what about me? And then Primal just uses Rat Trap as a misdirection to be like, no, I'm still doing this. I'm still doing this. I'm not letting you do it.
It almost makes me wonder if when they were doing the scripting for it, if they actually just forgot that there was another flyer.
It wouldn't surprise me for them to go like, oh shit, we have to have a reason why Eraser doesn't actually do this. Just misdirect and ignore it.
Cause yeah. I noticed that and I'm like, oh wait, did Jens make an accident and have to, fix it?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Rat Trap sets up the charge to blow the pod and cause the explosion. Primal gets in. Black Arachnius is like, it's comfortable like a coffin. And eventually she just gets knocked out after Primal's like, you're all a fine crew. But he takes it out, and Megatron sees it flying out on scanners, and he's expecting Tarantulas to be the one flying it. Instead, he's like, Primal's flying this? Aren't I so lucky that my plan has worked out better than I thought it would?
Now, bear in mind, at this point, it is fully clear that Megatron was willing to sacrifice Tarantulas.
To be fair, of the Predacon crew, who do you think Megatron literally trusts the least and would get rid of if he could?
I mean, truthfully, both of our spiders.
Fair. But at least one of them isn't as bad as the other.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Tarantulas isn't as bad as Black Arachnia.
Oh, true.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Because, one of them is just trying to leave. The other one is trying everything to go against Megatron.
Right.
Which is a problem.
Which is also Tarantulas' fault. So,
I mean, fair.
Anyway, Primal flies it to this laser. He reaches the point where he should eject. He tries to eject, but the hatch is sealed. And now Megatron phones in from base being like, hey, Primal, guess what? I kind of sabotaged the drive to start with to make sure that when all this happened, it would kill the pilot. I was expecting Tarantulas, but you being the pilot? Oh, that's just a bonus. Now you save the day and get murdered, and now your Maximals are leaderless. So, goodbye. And Primal is stuck in the pod, which I didn't notice this until watching it this time around, but you can actually hear a gunshot of Primal shooting his shotguns from his arm. Like, a second before the explosion. So Primal did try to shoot his way out of the pod and try to escape, but he was too late.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah. But he is caught in the explosion, killing him because not only do you see a piece of his chest piece flying by the camera after the explosion, if you freeze frame it at the right moment, you will also see Primal's head. Because it goes flying by the camera too. You can kind of see it if you're paying attention, but you do have to slow it down to see also the frozen expression of shock on Primal's face as he died. But that is where we end the episode with simply the end question mark on a black screen. And that is the end of season 1 of Beast Wars. How'd you feel about this finale?
I feel like that's kind of a weird way of ending it. Like, I get it, but I also kind of feel like, yeah, we're at a false end, big time.
Yeah. This is by no means the end of Beast Wars, but it's also, well, Primal's dead as per the rules of Transformers, where Prime must die at some point and be resurrected.
Yeah.
That's just what it means to be a Prime. You take a death and you go back to respawn. The only difference is how long that respawn timer is.
Fair. Which, I mean, I guess at that point, too, it depends on how long it takes to gather all the pieces.
Yeah. But yeah, I like this finale because it's like, this is the good stuff. This is the good Beast Wars. This is what I'm expecting the rest of the show to be like. Because I'm pretty sure the rest of the show is as tight as this. Because we just bounce from plot point to plot point and just burn our way through this. But anything else before we hit the second half?
No.
Alright then, we shall kick off with the first episode of Season 2! Episode 27, The Aftermath. So, Black Arachnia escapes as the Maximals are like, Primal didn't eject. What the fuck happened? And they get confirmation that Primal's dead. And Rat Trap is the first one to immediately go, oh, she's dead. It will be slow, it will be painful, but she's fucking dead. Because we're gonna get answers. But before they try to go capture Black Arachnia, they detect a quantum wave from the explosion inbound, and both bases detect this and bunker down for the impact because there's no dodging this. You're taking this on the chin and you're hoping for the best. By the way, Black Arachnia now has tarantulas in her head for the remainder of this episode, more or less. So that's happening.
Also, we kind of got that hinted at last episode.
Yeah. That's what she ended up tripping. Is tarantulas to be like, I'm in your head now, controlling your body. But anyway, everyone braces for impact, and we see the wave hit the Maximal base first. And while it knocks everybody around, it seems to not affect Airazor or Tigertron too much, but it makes Cheetor and Rat Trap glow a bright white light for some reason. And we don't see the aftermath of this because we go right to the Predacon base, where Waspinator, as all the shaking and stuff happens, gets tossed in the CR bath that the Predacons have instead of the CR chamber. And when the wave hits, Megatron gets hit by it, starts glowing white. Scorpionox and Tarantula, or not Tarantulas, Pterosaur, my bad, both also glow white, but they collide midair and fall into the lava and are dead. They are dead for the rest of the show. So, goodbye, Scorpionox. Goodbye, Pterosaur.
Well.
Also, Waspinator was supposed to die in this scene, but through sheer popularity of his character, got to live.
That's funny.
Yeah. Of all, pretty much, Megatron was supposed to have no crew by the end of this, but instead, he at least gets Waspinator. But anyway, we cut back to the maximal base at this point as Black Arachnia is waking up because the wave still knocked everybody out. It just affected them differently depending on who they were. We'll get into that in a little bit. But she's unchanged. But as she searches for Tarantula's body, she finds it, and it is changed into this new form. And when we get to the Maximals themselves, Airraiser and Tigertron are unchanged, but now Rat Trap and Cheetor are now in these new, and I'll just say it now, Transmetal bodies. Because guess what the new theming thing of Beast Wars Season 2 toys were?
I'm guessing it's this Transmetal.
Pretty much. So, Cheetor and Rat Trap, along with their normal robot and beast modes, now gain a vehicle mode. Cheetor gets 2 little jetpack turbines, and Rat Trap gets to become a roadster, more or less. Unfortunately, they don't know how to work vehicles, even though before all this they were vehicles to start with. So, I guess they forgot how to drive.
Probably.
So they end up crashing. But they do start to try to look for Black Arachnia. Back at the Predacon base, Waspinator wakes up. He's unchanged, but Megatron has his new form, and he's all giddy about it. And he's going to probably have the most fun with the stupid dumb things in his vehicle mode. But anyway, the two of them head out to the Maximal base. We follow Black Arachnia. She finds Tarantula's body, while Rhinox gets a vision of Primal's death that will make him do things later that he doesn't say what he's doing, I guess, for reasons. I don't know.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's the reason why Primal comes back.
For all intents and purposes, I'll just say, yeah. Yeah. Everything's on the table, so yeah.
It's one of those, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. I'm not gonna play coy with this. Nah, that's just how it's gonna happen.
Like, obviously, I don't know the details of it, nor do I want you to go into that, because we'll get there. But yeah, that one was pretty much in big bold letters, like, yes, this is him.
But at this point, Rhinox and Dinobot are brought up to speed. Dinobot is not impressed by the Transmetal modes. But when Rat Trap wants to argue and Rhinox is like, well, we got shit to do, Dinobot's like, why should I listen to you? Primal's not here. I challenge for leadership because I'm the strongest, and immediately gets grabbed by Rhinox by the throat and lifted off the ground. Because Rhinox is not in the mood for Dinobot's bullshit.
I love this also right here.
Because I'm going to point this out. Dinobot is the tallest person on the Maximal crew. He's taller than Rhinox. Rhinox lifts him off the ground while he's doing this. And just tells him, I'm in a bad mood. Fucking get in line. And Dinobot immediately is like, all right, sure, yep, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna do as you're told. Because I'm pretty sure Rhinox could throw Dinobot in the toilet if he wanted to.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Hmm. Anyway, Airazor and Tigatron find Black Arachnia outside with Tranche's body. They try to bring her in, but Megatron ambushes them both. And Megatron then tries to shoot Black Arachnia for doing the exact thing he knew she would do. But I guess he's just like, nah, I don't need you anymore. But Black Arachnia rightfully points out, you need a crew? Because you're down 2 people? So you need to let me live. Which is accurate, because if he did, he'd be down both Black Arachnia and Tarantulas. And what is he left with? He's left with Waspinator, who is Eternal Jobber. And he's left with Inferno, who I'm pretty sure cannot take on all the Maximals at once.
But he'll try.
Yes. And he will fail and get his head blown off.
Again.
Yeah. But at this point, Rat Trap and Cheetor join the fight, and this just begins a long drawn-out fight between everyone so that we can show off all the new vehicle modes from the Transmetals of Rat Trap, Cheetor, and Megatron, who now has VTOL wings and roller skates. They are roller skates because he uses them as roller skates later in the show, so they're being called roller skates. I will not hear otherwise. Yeah, they do all this. Eventually, the Maximals force the Predacons to retreat. Our Maximals regroup, and, well, our second season starts off in a very bad place for the Maximals because we also focus in on 2 stasis pods that are malfunctioning, but still giving birth to, or still reviving 2 of the Maximal pods, or 2 of the Maximals. So, by the way, there were 2 gimmicks for the Season 2 Transformers toys. Guess what the second one was?
I'm assuming the Fusors that we're getting to.
Yes. Speaking of, that takes us to episode 28, Coming of the Fusors, Part 1. So, at the Predacon base, they hear about these said parapods, and Megatron and Inferno head out, as Waspinator stays behind to guard the base, when he spots the other moon, the actual moon, and then realizes, oh fuck, and then heads into the base. Dinobot is of course nearby, and also realizes the same thing and sneaks into the base using Predator mud covering tactics. The 2 meet inside near the golden disc, or where the golden discs are kept, and this is where we get told pretty much the twist of the season. Well, half the twist of the season. This is prehistoric Earth. That's what I've been kind of hinting at by pointing out little details and stuff that the show has been using to foreshadow this twist. Because all the way back in the first episode, they noted that they could be at any time, in any place, and several times when we've seen a map of the planet, it has looked like prehistoric Earth, like sometime after Pangea split up, but before all of the continents properly formed. So they're vaguely in the shapes they should be, but not quite.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't they make a comment about, or you might have one of the 2, about Megatron actually being on the hunt for Earth?
He was on the hunt for Energon, not necessarily Earth.
Almost willing to bet they kind of heavily implied that.
Right. You see, he stole the golden disc because he was on the hunt for Energon, and the golden disc would point him to Energon. Wrong. But the golden disc would give him, as Waspinator and Dinobot point out, the entire future from this point forward. So, now that he's back in prehistoric Earth, I wonder what he could do with the power of I know history, of a history book. So, yeah. Dinobot, realizing this, decides, hey, Waspinator, why don't you take out the shield for me? And then proceeds to steal both of the golden discs. And as Black Arachne arrives, he just bugs out after just shooting towards them. Tarantulas, of course, knows what these golden discs are and tries to get her to go after him. And she's like, what the fuck no. What? Who cares? Do you want it in your body or not? And Tarantulas is like, fucking fine, whatever. But we catch up with the Maximals now as they found a down pod, and Airraiser and Tigertron leave to hopefully track down more of them. But unfortunately, the pod that they have down is a blank body with no spark. I wonder what this will be used for. And also what this kind of breaks continuity-wise that we have just now established without saying. Oops.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Meanwhile, we catch up with our two new Transformers as they decide to pick a fight with each other because the one Transformer, who is a Scorpion and Snake hybrid called Quick Strike, decides to fight the Wolf/Eagle hybrid of Silverbolt because he wants to. I will remind you that both of them are still Maximals at this point. So I guess Quick Strike is just normally an asshole.
Yeah, I could see that. I figured we were dealing with actually one from each side kind of concept.
Nope, the Predacons did not drop a single stasis pod. All of these stasis pods that we've seen the entire season and will see going forward are all maximal stasis pods. Unless stated otherwise. In one very specific situation. So yeah, no, I guess Quick Strike is normally just an asshole.
Well then. Yeah, Megs can have that one.
Yeah. But as the two of them fight, Inferno soon arrives, shooting at the pair, leading to some more fighting. As Megatron sees this and is just like, all right, computer, can you change their command codes real quick so I can get them on my side real quick since I guess their defenses are down and stuff? But he tricks them into believing that they are Predacons because he changed their command codes to terrorize instead of maximize. And of course, Quick Strike is on board on this because, again, asshole. Silverbolt is not because he is literally a Boy Scout. I'm not going to call him Captain America because Cap has better one-liners than this guy.
I was kind of hoping you'd say because he can't do that all day.
That too. But back over to Maximal Base, Rhinox is going offline to, as Rattrap puts it, go chase some comets. Because, look, I got important work to do. Don't let the base get blown up because it will kill me. Bye. And I love how Rattrap's just like, why are you leaving me in charge? I don't like being in charge. No. And then he's just like, Cheater, go fly and scout something. Or go scout while flying. And Cheater's like, or like go scouting. And Cheater's like, do you want me to fly? And he's like, no, I want you to just walk around. Yes, go fucking fly around and scout. That would be better. Thank you, Cheetor. But we now check in with Dinobot as he is now contemplating the immense power he wields by having the golden discs in his hands. And as pretty much we're going to be dealing with his arc for the entirety of season 2 of, I don't know what to do. Because on one hand, I have all the power in the world. On the other, I don't know what that means, considering I don't know the nature of what it means to change the future. Because he's left with a dilemma of, if I change the future, is it because that was what it was meant to be? Or am I actually changing the future to something else? More or less, are we dealing with a time loop situation, or are we actually changing the timeline? And that's Dinobot's crisis for the rest of the season. Spoilers. It is not a time loop. Just gonna put it on the table right now. This is not a time loop. But he hides one of the golden discs in the mountain he's at and takes the other one with him. Meanwhile, Tarantulas gets put back in his body and Black Arachnia gets knocked out by it when Megatron calls in to be like, yo, I need your help. Because him and the other Predacons spot Cheetor, attack him, and then proceed to chase him through a canyon until they're on top of it, and they both kind of just wait it out for backup. Which comes in the form of Rat Trap and Dinobot, because Dinobot shows back up at base, hides the other golden disc he has in the gun rack, and then just grabs all the guns and ammo, because it's like, well, it's just the three of us. I'm pretty sure we're going to need all the guns we got. So him and Rat Trap head out. The rest of the Predacons, minus Black Arachnia, head out to Megatron, and thus both sides more or less wait for high noon, because this is now a Western and this is a duel. Clock included, however the fuck you read Megatron's planet clock thing. How the fuck do you read that? Literally.
You don't. It just looks cool.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Given who Megatron is, yeah, that sounds like Megatron.
Yep.
But yeah, it is all the Predacons minus Black Arachnia up against Cheetor, Rat Trap, and Dinobot. And we end as everyone prepares to draw guns and do this duel. So tune in next week to see how that ends. So how'd you feel about these two episodes?
I hate ending on cliffhangers.
Yeah.
And we only have, what, 4 more of them kind of deal?
Pretty much. I think the middle and end of both seasons has like a 2 to 3 parter.
I'm wanting to say altogether you counted like 5 of them where we split it.
Yeah.
And it's like, The only good thing is, and sometimes it's annoying, is that they do a really good recap.
Yeah, they do good recaps.
But what's the problem too is sometimes they recap the not so important stuff also, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have shortened that.
Also, do you love how the season 2 intro kind of spoiled the very episode you're going to watch?
That, and, the fact that, the season 2 intro is like twice as long.
Yeah. It is more or less a recap of its own of, this is what happened on the season 1 finale.
Yeah.
But just to point it out, because of who got turned into transmetals. The logic, apparently, is that the original crews of both ships can become transmetals, unless they are being protected by the CR chambers. Because the quantum wave can't get through what those chambers are. Those chambers, I guess.
Maybe.
Right. And technically, through the toys, I want to say, I think it's through the toys and some extended media, we have seen what everyone's transmetal form was supposed to be. Except I think Dinobot. I think Dinobot's the only one we only have, like, concept art for. And it's more or less, Dinobot lays down, and then, like, his back feet and his tail are wheels. It looks bad.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
Yeah. Like, Rhinox just gets, like, tank treads on his feet for his vehicle mode. Pterosaur just gets, like, jet turbines in his wings. Waspinator, I think, just turns into a jet. Who else? Who else am I missing? I feel like I'm missing someone. No, I'm not, because we haven't gotten to the one person I haven't mentioned yet. But yeah, so any of the Transformers that started that were cracked open from a stasis pod don't get changed, because I don't know why.
Yeah, that seems kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. And I also think none of them ever receives a transmetal in, like, no, AirRaiser does have a transmetal form. And presumably Tigertron wouldn't be too far off from Cheetor, because they're essentially the same thing. Like, beast-wise. So, presumably they would get the same transmetal form.
True.
So there's that. And then the Fusors are less apparent in the toy line. There's only so many Fusors, and we're only going to get 2, actually. These 2 are the only 2 Fusors we get, because I don't know why. It was just their choice. I'm not even sure why it's them to start with. Because it's definitely not the bios on the toys, because those are altered depending on the character you decide to look at. So, But yeah. Other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to note from stuff. Nope. Yeah, it's a good 2 episodes. This is the Beast Wars I like and remember. Not necessarily a lot of the one-off episodes of season 1.
Yeah.
But any other thoughts?
No.
All right, then next week we pick up with this 2-parter, and then end on another 2-parter, or end on the first half of another 2-parter, because of course we do. But between now and then, Thursday, we continue Infinite Fusion and hopefully beat Misty. If she stonewalls us for an entire stream, I feel like we're in trouble for the rest of the game.
Fair.
I think maybe they made this game a little too difficult for a Pokemon game. Especially since they didn't give us an EXP fucking all.
True. At least though we've got an EXP share now.
Yeah. Friday, we continue our Spider-Man race and probably get through another major chunk of the game.
Should be able to. I think we're close enough. We'll at least be through Lee. might be starting in on some of the Ox stuff.
Yeah. I feel like we'll make it to the raft breakout. Because we're not that far from it. Because it's not that far after you deal with Lee that you do the raft breakout.
Yeah. That's why I was saying possibly some of the Ox stuff, because I mean, truthfully, Ox arc doesn't start till after that.
Yeah. There's that. Saturday is something to be decided later this week.
I'm leaning... I'm kind of leaning towards just doing some kind of multiplayer or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we might do Halo multiplayer. I don't know yet.
All right. And then that brings us around to TGSR next week, either Sunday or Monday, depending on circumstances. So stay tuned to make sure you hear when we're going to actually properly do this. So if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that affiliate goal. Add you to Soon on Twitter. Gets you updates when we're live. Next page point, Discord and chat. Get your Discord link. Drop by. Say hi. We will see you Thursday, folks.